Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day. Farmer George here, and today we're going to transplant my tomatoes that I've been growing under grow lights. I have two videos previous to this one to show you how I germinated them from bruschetta and their progress. And then now, since I've started feeding them hydroponic nutrients through their soil using the double cup method, they've just been taking off, and it's only been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's Thursday. It's only been 4 days, and I have to transplant these into their containers for which they're going to be staying in the rest of their lives, pretty much. And that method's called the Kratky method. So what the Kratky method is you're not using any soil, and you're just suspending the plant in a container with hydroponic nutrients, and there's no air pump, no filter, so you have to monitor the water, monitor the nutrients, and you don't really have to monitor it too often, maybe every 3 weeks, but once the plants get bigger, you're gonna have to do it on a more frequent basis. So basically today, trying to keep this a short video, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take the plants that are in soil right now, rinse all the soil off, and I'll show you the process and how to get them into the containers and put them under grow lights. And that's where they'll stay. Today, I'm going to show you how to get them out of these cups from the soil and into a container like this. And you see how big that container is? I would say it's about a quart, maybe a little bit over a quart, a little bit over a liter. And what we're going to be doing is a hydroponic method called the Kratky method, where there's no air pumps and it's just the plant sitting in a pot, dangling its roots in pure hydroponic nutrients. And I've already pre-mixed those here. And they'll sit under grow lights, and these will be my indoor tomato plants for the winter. So I'm gonna take these outside and get rid of the soil, rinse the roots completely off, because you don't want any soil in the solution. And I'll come back when they're all done. So the excruciatingly nerve-wracking part is done, and that was to get the soil off of the roots of these two tomato plants. And the reason it's so nerve-wracking is because you don't want to destroy these delicate roots, because these are what's going to hang in the water or the hydroponic solution. And just to show you what I use for my hydroponic solution, I use the General Hydroponics Grow Series, and it's a combination of, at least to start, it's 1 teaspoon per 1 gallon of water, and they show you, like, during the different stages of the growth cycle of each plant, you can change the dose of each. You got the Floor Grow, which is the green, Floor Micro, which is the purple, and then the pink is the Floor Bloom. So we're going to be using the general purpose mild vegetative growth, and that's 1 teaspoon of each. So you see 1, and 1, the second row down. So that is what I've already done in this 1 gallon jug. So next step is to get the tomato plants into these, and this is called a net cup. And what is this called? Some kind of wool. I forget what the wool is called. But basically, this wool holds the stem upright and straight, and it sits in this cut top that I used out of this Metamucil jug. So this fits right into there, and then it dangles. Excuse me, I don't have one extra hand. So it'll sit right about there in the water. And you want to have about 1 inch to 2 inches of space underneath the bottom of this net cup, because believe it or not, roots need to breathe they need to breathe air. So if the net cup is set up like this, you want this long root to be dangling in water, and then about here, you want to stop filling the solution, because these roots right here are going to take in oxygen from the air, and then these roots down here are going to take in the nutrients from the solution. So I completely cover the stem in the wool, and now my plant will stand upright in the net cup once I put it to the net cup. And one thing to note is I cut the bottom out of the net cup so that the roots don't get tangled up in the bottom, because especially if maybe next summer I want to transplant these outside, I want to be able to easily get these roots out without them getting caught and then ruin the plant. There you go. And I have lava stones to cover the top right here where my index finger is moving. You don't want any algae to start growing on this, so you want to make it so that there's no light getting to this solution, because once this goes into the container, eventually the wool will be saturated with the solution, and if algae gets any light combined with the solution, it'll just make everything green and screw up the properties of the solution. So I'm going to now put the top on and fill this up, and then I'm going to put this right in there with the top, and we'll be done. You can see how this fits right in there like that. This root is amazing. So I've only had this growing for about just a little over 3 weeks, probably like 24, 25 days. See how nicely this fits? It's perfect. And one thing to note, I mentioned the algae before, but this bottle or container doesn't allow light to get through enough that algae will form, because I've done this in the past with the same container and no algae formed in any of my solutions. The one thing I did mention before is I'm going to put these red lava stones up here so that it prevents algae from getting onto this. Oh, it's called rockwool. R-O-C-K wool. I just remembered. So, but let's just take a look at the level here that I filled up the nutrients to. You see, I have this huge root system going all the way down, and that's going to be fine for this plant. But I don't have, you can see, I can't get the camera all the way in there, but the bottom of the net cup is not touching the solution. And that's the most important thing, because you want these roots up top to be able to breathe. So this one's good to go, other than just putting the lava stones, and then I'm going to put it back under grow lights. And the next thing I'll do with this plant is, once it gets a little bit bigger, I'm going to top this one, and then I'm going to FIM the other one, F-I-M, and we'll see which one does better. So here's the finished product underneath the grow lights. I could have sworn I had lava rocks sitting around somewhere, but I couldn't find them for the life of me. I think I used them all at one point. So instead of putting lava rocks inside the net cups, I just covered it with duct tape. You know, duct tape can be used for anything. So hopefully the tomato has room to grow, and the duct tape doesn't prohibit it from growing. Especially this one, since it's a little further underneath the grow tape. The duct tape. So I'm going to lower my lights until they're probably about an inch above both of these plants, so they don't have to stretch for light, and they can just focus on bushing out and getting fatter and wider rather than taller. I hope you enjoyed the video on how to do the Kratky method. The Kratky method. It's K-R-A-T-K-Y, I believe. That's how you spell Kratky. And I don't do this just for keeping plants inside. I do this to expedite the process prior to putting them outside. I have 3 plants out there that were started in this method, and by chance, we had a freak hailstorm at the beginning of the summer, and I still had those guys under grow lights in their containers. So that was a benefit, and then I brought them out a little bit later, and then those are some of the best plants that I have outside right now. So it doesn't have to just be for indoor only. You could start your plants early, get a jump start in the season, and then boom, put them right outside once it gets warmer. But for my purposes, we're gonna keep 2 tomato plants indoors all winter long, so that I can enjoy fresh tomatoes all year long. I'll put what I used in the description below. If you like this video, if you think it's going to help, if it does help, please like, please comment, please subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and let's share and grow together. Bye.